to challenge. But number two, number two of our guideline is strategic thinking is teachable and must be taught to all levels of management. Now, all levels management means down to the supervisor. Right. So we have operational strategy, marketing strategy, but we also have ethical strategy.
Really?
Not that we say it every day, but we make sure that we massage, we mold the person's profile, right? And so giving people the ability to make decisions is like giving them a gun. Giving them showing them what the strategy is like showing them what the target looks like. Otherwise, they keep on shooting themselves in the foot. Right? And then the third one is the corporate culture is an extension of the family culture. Not nepotism, but it's a tribal culture. Now, when you do the three things combined, then ethics become part of the family behavior, and then the strategy, and then also the decision part of your everyday decision. So we combine the three, where you give the guy the ability or the power to make decisions, so that he practice making decisions, he practice innovation every day. And if he make mistakes, let's say in an ethical sense, then he would have to reflect on it, because then he take the second guideline and say, well, the company has this culture strategy, and I couldn't, we shouldn't really, I shouldn't really repeat this kind of ethical mistake.
I see.
Yeah.
And in the hiring process, obviously, as you were beginning, you were adding people fairly rapidly,
Yes.
but not the whole world all at once, of course. And that must have put a lot of weight on people's personal, shall we say, gut feel
Yes.
as to whether this person that we're considering hiring is going to operate not only effectively from a performance aspect, but also from an ethical
Right.
aspect. And you've also said that you by and large, promoted from within,
Yes.
so that you have a good sense of what's going on.
Yes.
Do you think, and have you any sense that there's sort of a self-selection of the kinds of people that DHL looks for and hires, that only those who accept this ethical orientation will seek to get jobs, or do you have to really winnow out those that are?
No. I think only those who fit into that get promoted. Yeah. And it's a natural selection in the promotion process, not in the recruitment process. We recruit, our catch net is like anybody else. But also, we hire character and we train them on the skill. Because nobody really come with a logistic background.
Yes, of course.
So we recruit from high school. So when we hire, we catch them the same thing as anybody else. Then our selection gets better because we have a pretty good branding in the community. So we also make it that the grandmother, the mother, and the girlfriend feel that if you work for DHL, they would be really proud.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the good people, we attract the good people. We attract the good people, and also, I think most people, young people, their ethics is actually malleable. Right? If they hang around people, they'll become good people. And that's why people go to Sunday school.
DHL also did quite a lot of acquisitions, I think. And acquisitions bring different people with different backgrounds in terms of their work experience and sometimes very different corporate cultures and corporate ideas. What did you do to try and make these acquisitions work effectively, particularly with regard to the ethical issues?
Correct. I think DHL came onto the screen in the last 5 years. Before that, it didn't. Actually, before that, we didn't acquire anyone. We don't acquire company. When one of our, when we need something, or when one of our competitors say, "Would you like to buy us?" we usually buy the business. We don't buy the people.
I see.
Right. So, I would say up to the end of last century, 1999, we never really acquire. No, we're talking about the DHL Express, the courier side.
Okay.
We don't buy companies for exactly the same reason. That reason. We rather pay for their getting their customer. Okay. You want to sell your business. You want to sell your company. We don't buy company. We buy your business.
I see.
And also very rarely we buy your people.
Was that a conscious decision to avoid the cultural merging, so to speak?
We hire people, we have to get rid of them because we will be competing in the same market, and we compete. We were so fierce or so good as a competitor. That's why we push people off the block.
I see.
So it's not like that we have to buy Greenland, right? We're already in Greenland. Yeah.
I see. Well, you're in a good position to be able to do that,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
very helpful, being very effective.
Right.
And that's a very interesting explanation. I appreciate that very much. One of the things that is always difficult is sometimes there are clients or there are customers or there are suppliers who don't have the same ethical values. They're willing to cut corners. They don't have that strong sense of ethics that you do. And how do you manage, how does the company manage those situations where, whether they be customers or they be suppliers, vendors, are really not doing business the way you think is appropriate according to the ethics of DHL?
Yeah. When DHL appear as a supplier, as a service supplier, we operate, we expand mostly in the third world countries. In the third world countries, back in the early 70s and mid 70s, there's a lot of corporate corruption. People would ask for kickbacks and ask for discount, but actually the discount go into their pocket and so on. Actually, we were the one who came onto the market and set a new standard. We say we don't do that. You either use DHL or you use somebody else, right? But because there was nobody else, we were able to set our standard. Yeah, and we were able to hold our. One thing that DHL did from very beginning was we give a good service for a very reasonable price, so that when our competitor came from the United States and so on, there was not really a gap for them to slot in there. We did not gouge our customers. We just provide a good service. And we did not have kickbacks, because actually the kickback is always built in the price. Like the Chinese say, the wool comes from the lamb. Yeah, and we didn't have that. To show that our price was so tough that we don't have room to give kickbacks. And for our competitor who came in, they came in with